Welcome in. Thank you guys for joining the channel. What I want to talk to you guys today about is what you need to know in order to start real estate investing. And there's a couple of ways that you can make money from real estate investing, but ultimately you gotta understand exactly what you're doing it for. Whether you want to be passive or whether you want to be active. And we'll talk about exactly how each one of them breaks down. But before you do that, please make sure you go like, share, and subscribe, and watch the content over and over and over. That way you can be a little bit better and more knowledgeable about the process. So let's jump right into it. So, number one, we're talking about passive investing. And what I'm talking about is passive is more like a buy and hold, a rental property, more like an Airbnb, more like lending money if you have a lot of money. So there's multiple ways to invest passively, but that's going to come down to strategically what you're looking for. If you're somebody that's already making good money in a great industry, maybe you're not looking for the active money where you're doing the fix and flipping and you're talking to the sellers. Maybe all you want to do is buy a commercial building and add to what you already got as a good life, right? Just keep adding over a period of time. You have a retirement built up. You're living on a certain amount of money, and this money right here is just extra money coming in, paying down debt a whole heck of a lot quicker, and get you to retirement a whole heck of a lot quicker as well. So buy and hold is definitely a great way to earn and create wealth in this industry. And this way that I would always tell anybody to do is definitely go out and buy rental properties, because you need that passive income. Even if it's not rental, there is a couple other buy and hold strategies, which one is going to be very, very big this year just because it's around coronavirus. And if anything looks like, if the real estate market looks anything like the 2008 market, we're going to be able to take advantage of, which is doing owner financing. Owner financing has the same positives as a buy and hold has. The best part about it is that now, instead of actually renting that property and actually getting the appreciation over time, that's taken out. The appreciation is taken out, but what it do account for is you secure an amount of money. Say if it's $500 a month, you secure that amount of money for the lifetime of the loan, right? So with owner financing, the best part is that you're mirroring and copying a model that already works. For instance, the bank already give out loans. They call it bank financing. Well, now that you're doing owner financing, you're matching and mirroring a strategy that's already perfected. And the banks, when you walk into a bank, they always have marble floors and vaulted ceilings, right? That's the indication that they're making money. So owner finance is the exact same thing as buy and hold. The only thing is that you don't own the property. You make interest over a period of time. And since it's not bank financing, it's owner financing, you get to call the shots. You dictate what the house sells for. You dictate the down payment. You dictate how long you want that note to last, everything. And the best part about it is that you don't have to worry about the leaking toilet. You don't have to worry about the AC going out. You don't have to worry about certain things that typically people have to worry about with traditional rentals. When the property management come through and maybe the AC went out and you got to write a $3,000-$4,000 check to get the AC back going, or whatever the case may be, you don't have those type of hiccups. But it's just give and take there. So you set it up once with owner finance and you get paid for the entire period of the loan, or if they sell it, you'll get the spread between what you owe on it and what they actually sell it for, right? Definitely a great way to invest. And that's rental. Obviously you get paid from the cash flow coming in on a monthly basis. Yes, you do. Some properties you take a loss. It kind of is what it is. There's a foundation issue, a slab leak, an AC unit, a roof that needs to be replaced. Sometimes you got to get those things addressed. But even though you may take a loss on cash flow, what you don't take a loss on is appreciation. Over time, you will make money on real estate. There's no way not to make money on real estate if you just buy and hold. Now, if you buy it right, your buy and hold period may be 2 years, 3 years, and then you can do a 1031 exchange and move up. If you don't buy it right, say if you've done a bad deal and you don't buy it right, if you just hold on to that particular property, it may take 20 years, but eventually you will make all your money back and profit because of appreciation, which is a great thing. So the way I determine How I keep my properties, whether I do an owner finance or whether I do a rental, it depends on the location. Is it appreciating? Is it a great neighborhood with great schools where I know people move here just for the school district, for their kids to have a better opportunity? Or is it one of the rundown areas, rougher neighborhood where it seems like it's very, very tough to keep a good tenant or to attract a good tenant? In that instance, what I would do if I know it's not going to appreciate because the schools are down, typically what I would do is just go ahead and owner finance, right? Both of them are buying holds. It's just which strategy do I want to do? Both of them work. I know plenty of investors that got started with the rentals and then used to sell off half of their portfolio, owner finance. So I used to take a 10% down payment and then sell it, make the same amount of money. But half of their portfolio they own, the other half they don't own, they just control it, which is great as well because you get that money coming in on a monthly basis. Another way as far as passive is interest only. Say for instance you make good money again, you have a great job and it's paying you $150,000 and it's been paying you six figures for a while, and you just have money sit up maybe in a CD, maybe in an old IRA account, and it's earning you in the IRA account, it's earning you 6%, and then in the CD it's earning you 0.5%, right? Half a percentage in the IRA, in the CD, which is terrible because inflation is higher than that. So essentially you're losing money in that CD. And in the IRA, 6% is actually pretty decent for an IRA. But say if you wanted to get some regressive returns that was backed by a hard asset, how would you do that? You would actually lend out to certain people that maybe have fix and flips going on, like myself. I have a lot of private money, and typically all my deals are done via private money. But what essentially I look for somebody with a big IRA, maybe a couple $100,000, and they maybe have retirement coming around in the next 10 years, and they got to figure out a way to get the aggressive returns on it to get their money back. That's backed by a hard asset and that's not wavy like a stock market. So a fair rate for private money right now is between 8 and 12%. 8% is a little bit better than the 6%. 12% is obviously the best amount of return that you can get as far as a private money. I wouldn't say the best, but that's a pretty good rate you can get. And at 12%, you're making some pretty good money on just sitting back and letting your money make money. And the best part about it, if you do it in an IRA, those are tax-free gains. Tax-free gains. You'll never have to pay taxes on that money. That's the best part. Now, if it's not in the IRA, if your money is stuck in a 401k, when you transition it over, you will have to pay taxes on the money that's coming over from a 401 to a Roth IRA. But essentially, you get the lend, aggressive, and it's backed by a hard asset, which is the home itself. So if anything ever go wrong with that money, you end up with the asset at the house, and you evaluate the deal and make sure it's a deal. That way, if you ever have to foreclose, at least you know you're foreclosing on a home with equity that you'll be able to sell and that you'll be able to cash out and put that money back into the IRA tax-free. That's ultimately what you want to do. So you have interest, you have rentals, you have owner finance, and then another one that's very popular right now. Well, it just became popular probably in the last 5 years, not even that, probably 3. It's Airbnb. Air, breakfast, and bed, right? That's the strategy. But ultimately what it is you rent out a single family home, and you have it furnished for somebody to come in, and maybe a family from out of town is coming in to say for instance Dallas. They're coming in to Dallas and they want to stay next to their relatives, but they don't want to get a hotel because 3 rooms at a hotel is going to run them $400 or $500 a night. But they want to save some money and they want to all be together so they can cook breakfast. They can do whatever they want to do. It's basically like a home away from home. They got that as well, home away. With that being said, you rent that out per night. So it's a short-term rental. It's not a long-term rental. So it's a little bit more turnover. But the best part about it is that you don't have anybody living there for 2-3 years. So when somebody come in and out, it's being cleaned. They're taking care of the things, and then if they break anything up to $500, that comes out of their deposit. So it's really a great way to do it. The only thing you're responsible for is upkeep, obviously, just short-term maintenance as far as cleanup, making sure you set everything up, they can get the keys, all the good stuff. So you're responsible for that. So it's a little bit more responsibility, but ultimately the gains are a whole heck of a lot higher because, say for instance, you're renting out your home, your 3-bedroom, 2-bath home for $250 a night, and that should be in the low end. $250 a night, depending on your market. You have to do your research, but I know in Dallas that's typically the low end. If I'm renting a 322 in Dallas, and it rents out for 10 nights. What's that? 250 times 10? That's 2,500. Well, the market rate for rent anywhere around the DFW for a 3.2 is going to run you anywhere from $1,400 to $1,800 a month, depending on the location. Sometimes it gets up to $2,000 depending on location. But obviously, I said sometimes it gets up to $2,000. Well, if you just rent it out for $250 a night and you bringing that money in, that's $2,500. You just beat it, and ultimately you didn't have as much headache. You didn't have to do as much maintenance to the property, and you know the property is being taken care of because people are only there for 2-3 nights, and they're coming here to vacation. That means they're going to be out of the house. Typically, they just lay their head there. Sometimes they have a party that's not recommended, and you should have it against your rules. But ultimately, they get to be able to use the house as a place to stay, eat breakfast, and then they go about going out and seeing the city and enjoying other family or whatever the case, whatever their hidden agenda is. So you got that as far as passive. The second one we're talking about is active. Now, I personally love both sides of real estate. I love everything that has to do with making money. So with that being said, as far as real estate, I love the active side of it, and I've always done active, and I will forever do active because there's money to be made. But the biggest thing as far as anybody watching the channel is just really how much money are you making right now is going to dictate which one you go with. So if you're not making a lot of money right now, and I say making a lot of money, if you're not already making 6 figures, you know what? You probably want to bump up your income. I know there's a guy that teaches wealth out there, but he talks about your number one tool as money maker is money that you're bringing in your job. Right? So if your job is paying you $50,000 a year, that's your best tool to financial freedom because it's actually your job. It's what you make a year guaranteed is coming in. So if you're trying to get to 6 figures, either you're going to have to be better at that job or you can start doing real estate on the side. There's a couple of ways. There's wholesaling, there's fix and flip, there's developing. You can flip raw land, whatever you want to do. There's multiple ways to make active money in real estate. You can even be an agent. There's a couple of hoops you got to jump over if you're going to be an agent and an investor, but that's active money being made in real estate, which is making the tool of you actually being able to make money increases your odds of being able to have that rental portfolio, being able to have go out and syndicate on apartment units, whatever the case may be. So you got to build that active money, and whether that's your job or through real estate, in order to be able to look at some of the passive ways or to be safer in the passive ways of investing in real estate. So with that being said, active is wholesaling and flipping. Those are great ways to make money. Like I said, if you're not making 6 figures, you might want to go ahead and jump on the active side. And wholesaling is a great way. I know my biggest wholesale assignment fee was $72,000. Another one for $51,000. Another one for $40,000. Another one for $31,000. So those are just chunks of money that we get in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then flips. Got cutting checks for $35,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. Obviously, with a flip, it's always based on what you buy it for, which is the biggest thing. What you buy it for, and then that typically you guarantee yourself at least 10 to 15% on a flip. I believe I have that in another video. You can check it out. But that's what you guarantee yourself when you're doing fix and flips. But with that being said, you definitely want to make sure that if you're not making the money from your job currently, and you want to increase $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to get that 6-figure a year job, definitely want to go with the active side of it and get in there. And then once you figure out which one you want to do, passive or active, then we can put together a plan to actually get you there. But until you actually know which one you're actually looking for, you're going to forever be all over the place, right? I can teach you about rental property. But if you're not making the money to go get the rental property, I'm kind of wasting my time. Same with you, you're wasting your time. So I highly encourage you to understand where you are, and then we put together a plan to actually get you to where you want to be. But first, you got to understand where you are. That way, you know, if, hey, right now I'm making $200,000 a year. Let me just do some rentals and put them on the side. That way, I'm creating wealth, I'm getting appreciation, the tenant is paying it down, and I'm getting the cash flow every month, making money in my sleep, right? But if you're making the $50,000 a year, passive real estate, we may talk about it. It's a goal, it's an idea, but we're not going to be able to get there unless we start bringing in some money actively, whether that's developing, whether that's fixing and flipping, whether that's wholesaling. And really active is anything that you hold less than a year and a day. Typically the capital gains get turned down a percentage. Now you can do your research as far as what that is, but capital gains get turned down a little bit, and then that's ultimately almost like a passive way of investing. But some rehab jobs cost, take a year and a half, regardless where you at. Some jobs may be your first one, it may be one you should never bought. Whatever the case may be, it may take some time in that process. So you just got to understand where you are and what you're looking to accomplish. Ultimately, that's all. Definitely, if you found value in it, make sure you go like it, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment. I'd definitely love to chime in with you and build a relationship via YouTube with you. Thank you for watching, and keep winning.